Welcome in, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you guys are doing well, and peace be upon you all. So, today, uh, what I wanted to talk about is the tragedy that happened a few days ago with Charlie Kirk and his assassination. So, we had a horrible tragedy a few days ago. So, in today's show, what I want to do is in the first half, I just kind of want to talk about what happened and just give some facts about the situation and what we know so far. And in the second half of the show, I just kind of want to give my thoughts on this whole situation and see where we go from here. So, just before we get started, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the topic. So unfortunately, we had another shooting in the US. So on September 10th, which was Wednesday, 2025, Charlie Kirk, the conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was assassinated while speaking at a debate event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. So, just as far as the assassination, Kirk was speaking under a tent as part of his American Comeback Tour. There was approximately 3,000 people in attendance, and at around 12:23 p.m. local time, Kirk was shot once in the neck by a sniper, and the shot was fired from the roof of the Losi Center, which is a building on the campus about 142 yards away from Kirk's location. And video footage of the event shows Kirk was in a conversation with an audience member about gun violence and mass shootings moments before the single shot rang out. So, very strange coincidence that the topic they were talking about was gun violence, and at that moment, the shooting happened. So, just craziness and just tragedy. A witness described pandemonium and panic in the aftermath of the shooting as people took cover and ran. And Kirk was transported to a hospital but died from his injuries. So I'm sure everyone has seen, footage from this situation. So it's just too crazy, man. You just go from a very normal, you know, public speaking event with people being engaged and everything's going well. And then the next second is just chaos and panic. So this is just too much. Honestly, this shouldn't be happening like in a civilized society. But so just some more information and facts about the situation. So the investigation and arrest. So authorities, including the FBI, immediately launched a manhunt for the shooter. The shooter was captured on surveillance video running across the rooftop of the Losi Center and jumping to the ground before fleeing into a wooded area. A high powered bolt action rifle, believed to be the weapon used in the attack, was recovered from the wooded area. And clues left at the scene included a palm print and a shoe impression. And the next day, on Thursday, September 11th, authorities released images and videos of a person of interest appealing to the public for help. The release of this information led to a major break in the case. A family member of the suspect recognized him and contacted law enforcement. And that night, so Thursday night, a suspect identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was arrested in Washington County, Utah, about 250 miles from the scene of the shooting. So looks like the suspect, you know, left the scene at least a few hours away from where the shooting happened. So not sure if he was trying to get away or if he just left to kind of get away from the scene and the situation, but they found him 250 miles away. And authorities said that Robinson had grown more political in recent years and had expressed disdain for Kirk's viewpoints. And messages found on unfired casings with the recovered rifle contained anti fascist references. So, just some aftermath and reactions. So, the assassination of a prominent political figure like Kirk, who's a very well known political activist, it sparked widespread condemnation from across the political spectrum. Also, he had a pretty strong relationship with President Trump, and President Donald Trump announced Kirk's death on his social media site and praised him as a martyr for truth and freedom. And he also ordered flags to be lowered to half staff. And Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, spoke publicly for the first time, vowing to continue her husband's work. And this was honestly kind of hard to watch, just having to see somebody's spouse just a day or two after they get tragically murdered and assassinated in front of the whole world, having to see a spouse, give a speech so soon after that is just honestly hard to watch. And I don't know how she did it. Um, I probably wouldn't want any kind of like attention or speaking. So I think that's very courageous and strong of her to do. And also, the incident has fueled a national debate about political violence and polarization in the United States. All right, guys. So, next, I just want to give my thoughts, opinions, and feelings about this whole situation. So, it's very unfortunate. It just seems like every few weeks, or it seems like once a month, there's always some breaking news on TV about a shooting, whether it's a mass shooting at a school, like we've seen so many times. And I think a few weeks ago we had the shooting in Minnesota at a elementary Catholic school. And now we have this shooting of a well-known political activist. So it just seems like this has become a norm in America and in our society, that you can just expect that there's going to be some kind of a mass shooting or significant shooting every few weeks. And it's so unfortunate and sad that our society has come to that point. Um, I mean, this is the United States of America, right? This is supposed to be the wealthiest and most developed country in the world. And with all of that, you think that, people would be well off and that these things would be the last things that are happening. You would think maybe these things happen in some third world countries or in other countries that are having a war and things like that. You don't expect shootings to happen regularly in a wealthy Western country that's probably the richest country in the world. So it just doesn't make sense. It just, honestly, it just kind of exposes all the ills of society in America. It just shows you that there are so many individuals and groups in America that they just have a damaged and broken heart, a damaged and broken soul, that these things keep on happening. So these shootings are just a symptom that show all the diseases that are happening in people's hearts in America. And it's very sad, very unfortunate, and I can't believe that we're at this point in the country. So, you don't hear about these shootings like this in other countries. Yeah, you hear it every once in a while, but it's not as regular as it is in America. So this is not a very good sign. Like, a society can't keep on functioning on situations like this. Like, at some point, it gets worse and worse, and at some point there would be a breaking point in society. Like, you can't just have these things keep happening and happening at schools, at public events. It's going to lead to like more significant social disorder and problems. So, very, very strange society that we live in the United States of America. So, just some more thoughts, opinions, and feelings that I have about this situation and just this whole overall problem. So, in this particular situation, it's kind of, again, a very strange situation because there's no like racial motive here, right? So you have two white males. Um, there's no like religious motivation. They're probably both, two Christians. So it's just kind of amazing that just people in their hearts, they always find a way to have like hate for each other and negativity for each other. So sometimes it could be racial, sometimes it could be religious, but like in this situation, it's neither of those situations. It could be like politics, it could just be that people don't like each other's viewpoints and things like that. So it's just so unfortunate to see how some hearts have become so black and dark and corrupted that people just take each other's lives for whatever reason that they find. And what I honestly believe in life is that if you choose, you can find a reason to hate on anybody for any reason, whether it's your own people, your own religious group, your own ethnic group, your own racial group, etc. But you can also choose to not hate anyone for those same reasons. So I feel like it's just a choice like in your heart that you make. Again, if you want to, you can choose a reason to hate on anybody, but also you can choose a reason to not hate, and you can choose a reason to love everyone. So it's just it's just kind of sad how negative we can be, and how our hearts can be dark, and they can hate on anybody for any reason. So we just all need to do better, man. It's We need to cure the diseases in our hearts, in our society, and these things need to stop happening. Also, I mean, all these like recent shootings that have happened, they happen in public space. So like right now, I don't have any kids, but like going forward, if I do, it's kind of horrible. You have to like consider, like, is my child gonna be safe at school? Like, you that thought having to cross your mind, like a potential for like a school shooting or something like that, just having to like think about that is just very sad that we come to that point. And also like other shootings in public spaces like this one at a university, and other ones that happen at like a concert, um, or any other public setting, is just kind of like sad that we're at a point that that thought like has to cross your mind. And just the fact that that does have to cross your mind, I think it's very, very bad sign for us all, and for our society here, specifically in America. um, yeah, I think we all need to do better. I think all of these problems originate from lack of God consciousness, and also lack of the family unit. So I think if you're brought up in a God conscious environment within your family, I think you are raised the right way, and those evils in the heart and in society get cured away, and these things wouldn't be happening. So I feel like this is all, going forward. I think these evils that are in the hearts, and thus they show up in society, I think they really all stem from a lack of God consciousness and a lack of family unit or family values. Um, so that's really how I see these situations that are happening. Um, if you're a God conscious, God fearing person in a good family, in a good community, you would never let these things happen. These things would be cured automatically, just because there will be consequences like in your community and within your family. You would have consequences within yourself. Your heart would like feel horrible if you did anything negative. You would feel depressed, anxious. So this is just, I feel like these things that are happening in American society, particularly with these shootings, they're showing a sign of lack of God consciousness and lack of family unit and family values within our American society. And I think that if we tackle those two things, God consciousness and make our families stronger and closer. Um, I think these evils that are happening in our society would slowly and slowly start to get cured. And I think we would see a lot different results. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to share in this video. So, just to kind of summarize, a very unfortunate shooting that we had again in America. Very well known political activist Charlie Kirk gets assassinated in front of his family, in front of the whole world. Just very, very sad and unfortunate and just horrible event. Um, we saw some details and facts about the case and what we know so far. And just my overall thoughts and opinions are that these shootings, this one and all the other ones that happened, they're just a symptom of the evils and ills that are happening in American society. And they just show that there's a lot of diseases of the heart within people and groups in our American society. And that if we cure our hearts and the diseases of our hearts, whether it's hatred, racism, jealousy, um, any other negative emotion that one has, negative thoughts, once we cure the diseases of the hearts, that will cure the diseases of our society. And these shootings and other negative events will slowly stop to happen. And we will live in a safer and more caring society. So that's it for me, guys. If you found value in this video, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.